What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. So while Pete Hegseth is playing G.I. Joe with the United States military and trying to lie about where these little fishing boats were going, because last time I checked, little fishing boat ain't got enough gas to make it from South America to North America. You know what I'm saying? Last time I checked, right? But so while we got Pete Hegseth, right, violating the Constitution, violating all kind of human rights and everything, we have Donald Trump being gifted awards from people who are pandering to him. Look how ridiculous Donald Trump looks when the FIFA president, CEO, panders to him in the open, in front of everybody, to gives him some sort of Nobel, some sort of peace award. You see, because he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize, which the reason why Donald Trump wants the Nobel Peace Prize is because Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize. That's why the most important thing to Donald Trump is that damn Nobel Peace Prize. He can't stand the fact that a black man got that Nobel Peace Prize and he, white superiority, can't get that Nobel Peace Prize. He doesn't care about your life. He doesn't care about your economy. He doesn't care about anything about anybody else but him getting his prize. Look how retarded he looked on that stage where he put his own little FIFA prize around his neck. Nobody even put it around his neck. He put it around his neck. He was so happy, like a big child, like a big, happy, rich, spoiled child. It's absolutely disgusting. But I want you guys to check it out. Check out Donald Trump being pandered to by all these pieces of shit that's behind him. Because it's not just Donald Trump. You see, Donald Trump, he's on the spectrum, you can tell. Right? Donald Trump doesn't have all his faculties in order. Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. Donald Trump is a spoon-fed rich individual suffering from affluenza. All right, and there's a bunch of evil white men behind him taking advantage of that right now, killing and burning and slashing the world to try to maintain white supremacy, even though white supremacy is on its way out, because this is the last gas of white supremacy. But anyway, without further ado, check out what Donald Trump is doing right now, while the government, who he does not run, is running amok. Anyway, that's all I gotta say. Is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Tonight with exclusive new CNN reporting, because that speedboat that is at the center of so much controversy, the one that was hit a second time after the first strike left survivors in the water, was actually heading to Suriname in South America, according to our sources tonight, not to the United States. Two sources with direct knowledge say that is actually what the admiral who oversaw this entire operation told lawmakers when he was briefing them on Capitol Hill. U.S. drug enforcement officials say that drugs routed through Suriname are typically headed for Europe, not the United States. Of course, that's not always the case, but usually that is where they are going. Back in September, of course, you'll remember on the day of this strike when it happened, the president had posted after that the strike occurred while the terrorists, as he called them, were at sea in international waters transporting illegal narcotics that were heading to the United States. This is what the Secretary of State said that same day.
These particular drugs were probably headed to Trinidad or some other country in the Caribbean, at which point they just contribute to the instability these countries are facing.
You heard Secretary Rubio there use the word probably. And the reason this disconnect matters is because the administration is claiming that this action that they took on this boat with that second strike was necessary to protect this country. It comes the same day that we saw in part a contrast in the image the president wants to project and the actions that his administration is currently undertaking. I was there today as the president was walking the red carpet at the Kennedy Center. He was dancing to the YMCA and genuinely seemed to be having a great time at an event that was kicking off the upcoming World Cup. It's going to be taking place across North America next year. And the highlight of that entire event for the president seemed to be this moment.
Mr. President, this is your prize. This is your Peace Prize. There is also a beautiful medal for you that you can wear everywhere you want to go.
The president quickly put the medal around his neck while we were there. He was being awarded the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize. It's a new award that didn't exist a year ago, and it's one that FIFA now says is going to be given to someone who has taken exceptional and extraordinary actions for peace, and by doing so, have united people across the world. It was bestowed upon President Trump by FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino, today.
Thank you very much. This is truly one of the great honors of my life. And beyond awards, Johnny and I were discussing this. We saved millions and millions of lives.
Now, Infantino was also a really big supporter of giving the president the Nobel Peace Prize. That ultimately went this year to Venezuela's opposition leader, but it is certainly one that has very much been on the president's mind, including during this week's cabinet meeting.
Every time I end a war, they say if President Trump ends that war, he's going to get the Nobel Prize. So I end that war. Well, he won't get it for that war, but if he ever gets it for the next war, now they're saying if he ever ends the war with Russia and Ukraine, he's going to get the Nobel Prize. What about the other 8 wars? India, Pakistan. Think of all the wars I ended. I should get the Nobel Prize for every war, but I don't want to be greedy. Actually, the woman who got the Nobel Prize said, "You've got to be kidding. Trump deserves the Nobel Prize." So that was very nice of her. I appreciate it, which is true, actually. But I don't care about that. You know what I care about? I care about death. I care about all the people that are dying.
Now, the boat strike that killed survivors in the Caribbean came up during that same cabinet meeting. As the administration has pledged to not stop these strikes, they say they're going to continue to carry them out. In total, after all these strikes are put together, 87 people have been killed in what the president himself has described as a war. It's a war that Congress has not declared, and it is using military force that Congress has not authorized. I asked the president today on the red carpet about these strikes and that award and the contrast that is created here.
You're expected to get the FIFA Peace Prize, Mr. President. What would you say to people who say that prize might conflict with your pledge to strike Venezuela?
Well, I think the Peace Prize, I settled 8 wars. I don't know that I'm getting it. I haven't been officially noticed. I've been hearing about a Peace Prize, and I'm here to represent our country in a different sense. But I can tell you I did settle 8 wars, and we have a 9th coming, which nobody's ever done before. But I want to really save lives. I don't need prizes. I need to save lives, and we're saving a lot of lives. I've saved millions and millions of lives, and that's really what I want to do. And I also want to run a great country. And the United States right now is the hottest country anywhere in the world. And 1 year ago it was dead. We had a dead country, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
Now, the United States is hosting the World Cup along with 2 other nations in this, Mexico and Canada. Both of their leaders were also there at the Kennedy Center today. And of course, that reminded people who were there about the president's own threats to invade one of them and annex the other.
Would I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there. Frankly, the way that gets solved is Canada should honestly become our 51st state. Why don't you just join our country? You become 51, become the 51st state.
Joining me tonight as we cover the latest out of the Trump administration are my political sources, Van Jones and S.E. Cupp. And S.E., I think if the drugs were not headed for the United States, one question that it raises very obviously is, what does that do to the justification that we've been hearing from the president and all these officials about why they did this?
We are so far out of the bounds of the confines of the Constitution. We're not allowed to just extrajudicially kill people because their cargo may or may not at some point reach the United States. That's number one. Number two, the sheer incompetence of this administration is appalling, disturbing. It's embarrassing. Marco Rubio said it was headed to Trinidad. Bradley says Suriname. Trump said the United States. Pete Hegseth has given half a dozen versions of what actually happened and what he knew and when he knew it. The Pentagon, the Department of Defense, has historically been revered and feared around the world. And it is now a laughingstock, not because of the good men and women who have dedicated their lives to service, but because Pete, the warrior princess Hegseth, is running this organization on sheer bloodlust and not competence, not brains, not the law. It's an embarrassment. I'm deeply, deeply worried about our standing in the world and the men and women he continues to put in danger.
Donald Trump has been in a decade-long cosplay of Barack Obama, and he's still mad it's not working. You ever watch somebody hate on somebody so much you realize that the hate is just envy in disguise? That is Donald Trump with Barack Obama. See, this is not just politics for Trump. This is personal. Trump doesn't just dislike Obama's policies. He's mad because he can't beat Obama at being Obama. Obama walks into a room and people stand because they respect him. Trump walks into a room, people stand because they think Trump might throw a plate at the wall. That's not admiration. That's like survival instinct, right? Now Trump is out here on his never-ending scavenger hunt for a Nobel Peace Prize. Because guess who already has one, y'all? Exactly. It's like he's running a race against Obama's shadow. Problem is, you can't win against somebody you running behind to catch. And you sure ain't gonna win no Peace Prize while you're out here tweeting threats, hyping violence, and treating diplomacy like a WWE promo. And I know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. But the Nobel Prize Committee is not about to hand a prize to a guy that can't go 24 hours without starting some conflict with somebody. Like, giving the Peace Prize award to Trump would be like giving a vegetarian award to a butcher. It doesn't make any sense. So every time I see Trump push for that Nobel Peace Prize, that shit makes me cackle laugh. Because no matter how many copycat moves Trump makes, no matter how many look at me moments he tries to stage, Trump will never be as great as Barack Obama. And that's the part that eats him up the most.
President Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize for way less.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Obama got a prize. He didn't even know what he got. He got elected, and they gave it to Obama for doing absolutely nothing but destroying our country. No, he was not a good president. The worst president was Sleepy Joe Biden, but Obama was not a good president.
Are you going to do something with the
They
Hezbollah?
gave him a prize. How many months after he won the election, then they gave him the Peace Prize, right?
It was right afterwards.
My election was a much more important election.
I am both surprised and deeply humbled by the decision of the Nobel Committee. Obama out.
Go ahead and add you 100 to the cart, because I'm telling you right now.
You see how them things drop? That's how I'm dropping prices all this week. Come see me at Kirk Toyota for all your vehicle needs. Shoot me a text, give me a call. 662-614-0715. Bye.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.